In today's NBA, we're in an era of parity. A new champion seems to emerge every year, and everyone points to the second apron as the reason why. But what if I told you that's not the real reason? One team had a chance to dominate this era, to become a dynasty, but they traded it away. The Denver Nuggets had a 28-point per game playoff riser, and they traded him for a role player. Today, we enter the alternate timeline, where Denver keeps Donovan Mitchell, and everything changes. The moment Donovan Mitchell lands in Denver, the impact is felt immediately. He adds 17 points per game to a rising core of Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray. That's enough to push Denver from the 9th seed to the 3rd seed with 5 extra wins. In his first playoff series, Mitchell cooks the Pelicans, averaging 27 and 9. Jokic outplays Anthony Davis, and Denver wins in 6. But in round 2, they face one of the best teams of all time, the 2018 Golden State Warriors. Denver steals a game, but the Dubs close it in 5. Still, one thing was clear. This rivalry was just getting started. But what mattered most was that Denver got their first real taste of playoff intensity. In the 2018-19 season, Mitchell averages 23 and 9. Jokic blossoms into a top 5 player, and Murray thrives as a 3rd option. And the Nuggets finish with the 1st seed. In round 1, Denver sweeps Utah. Poetic, right? Utah is clearly missing a scorer like Donovan Mitchell, someone just like him. In round 2, they take down Harden and CP3 in 6 games, proving they're not just a regular season team. Then came the long-awaited rematch with the Warriors. But this time, luck was on Denver's side. No KD. He's sidelined with a calf strain. And with KD being out, Donovan Mitchell exploded. Jokic dominated, and Jamal Murray stepped up in a big way. Denver stunned Golden State, pulling off the upset. Draymond said, "We don't need you, KD," but this series proved otherwise. Now, to the surprise of many, and maybe the dismay of the league, it's Nuggets vs Raptors in the NBA Finals. The series was an all-out war. Both teams trade blows night after night, but as it wore on, 2 problems started to surface for Denver. Marc Gasol, the savvy veteran, began to figure Jokic out. The big man who had dominated all postseason suddenly looked human. And then there was Kawhi. Offensively, he was unstoppable. Mitchell couldn't keep up with his scoring output, and to make things worse, Kawhi was guarding him too. The stars just didn't align for Denver, and in Game 6, Toronto sealed it. A crushing end to a magical run. Coming off a finals trip, expectations were sky high for the Nuggets, but the world had other plans. The COVID season flipped everything. Shutdowns, empty arenas, the bubble. No rhythm, no home court, just chaos. And while the year fell off, Denver still delivered. Mitchell improved once again, averaging 25 a game, and Jokic stayed elite. They battled through the madness all the way to the Western Conference Finals. It went the distance, a Game 7 showdown with the eventual champs, but they lost in 7 to the Lakers. Another heartbreak for Denver, but it's not the end, it's just another chapter, and their story, it was far from over. The 2020-21 season saw the Nuggets firing on all cylinders. Their big 3 was dominating the league, delivering one of the most potent scoring attacks around. But just a month before the playoff disaster struck, Jamal Murray tore his ACL, sidelining him for the rest of the postseason. Still, Denver didn't miss a beat. They cruised through the playoffs, beating the Warriors in 5 games with Klay sidelined. Then they took down the Mavericks and Suns in 6 games each. Donovan Mitchell stepped up big, averaging 25 points alongside Jokic. The finals came down to a clash between Jokic and Giannis, the 2 best players in the league. And with that being said, it's no surprise it came down to a Game 7. And Giannis dominated Game 7, carrying Milwaukee and looking like he'd seal the title. But Donovan Mitchell and Jokic weren't done. Together, they poured in 60 points, 30 each, fueling the Nuggets' relentless push to the championship. Denver didn't fold. They learned from their past failures, and behind their elite duo of Jokic and Mitchell, the Nuggets claimed their first NBA championship, all without their 3rd option. The dynasty begins. Fresh off a championship, the Nuggets stayed hungry. Mitchell took another leap, averaging 27 points a game. Jokic matched it while also putting up a triple-double. Even without Jamal Murray, they notched 51 wins and finished as the 5th seed. No one expected much from an injury-riddled Denver Nuggets team, but Denver kept proving people wrong. They take out Dallas in 6, Phoenix in 6, and made their way back to the Western Conference Finals. Their opponent? Golden State again. But without Murray to help carry the offense, and with Klay Thompson returning to full strength, the Warriors finally got their revenge. After falling to Denver in their previous 2 playoff series, Golden State came back with a vengeance, using their experience and depth to close out the series in 6 games, tying their playoff record against the Nuggets in this era at 2-2. After a tough loss without their third option, Denver was determined to return to the mountaintop. With a 64-win season, they looked like a team on a mission. Jokic and Donovan Mitchell dominated the league, and Jokic once again won the MVP, reclaiming it and taking it right back from Joel Embiid. Though Jokic and Luka are great friends in real life, in this timeline, things played out differently. Denver eliminated Luka's Mavs for the third year in a row, this time with a first-round sweep. Phoenix, same story. The Nuggets knocked them out again, this time in 5 games. Then came the Lakers, fresh off taking out the Warriors, but Jokic and Mitchell were fueled by the memory of that bubble loss. They took it out on LA in brutal fashion, sweeping them and cruising into the finals. Their opponent, the Miami Heat. But by this point, there was no stopping a fully healthy Nuggets squad. Denver completed one of the most dominant playoff runs ever, 16-1, claiming their second title in 3 years. Jokic sealed this season by achieving the rare feat of winning both regular season MVP and Finals MVP in the same season. The Nuggets, fresh off a championship, followed it up with yet another dominant 61 season, and they reclaimed the first seed. Mitchell and Jokic both averaged 26 points per game, with Jokic also averaging a triple-double alongside that. In the first round, they faced a fresh challenge in the Sacramento Kings, and they swept them without much trouble. Next came the Oklahoma City Thunder, a talented team but slightly weaker in this timeline. Since Jalen Williams went 12th to Cleveland, Denver dispatched them in just 5 games. Back in the Western Conference Finals, it was a familiar foe, Luka Doncic and the Mavericks. Unfortunately for Luka, it marked the 4th straight playoff meeting against Jokic, and the 4th straight playoff loss. The Nuggets advanced to their 2nd consecutive NBA Finals, this time against a worthy opponent, the 64-win Boston Celtics, who held home court advantage. With 2 evenly matched teams, every game went to the home side, setting up a nail-biting Game 7 in Boston. Mitchell and Jokic were dominating the Celtics defense, but Tatum and Brown fought back fiercely. In the end, depth proved decisive, and with the Nuggets having lost Bruce Brown in free agency, the Celtics held on to edge out the win in Game 7. The loss cut deep for Denver. Instead of breaking them, it ignited a fire. A reminder that true champions rise from setbacks. The Nuggets were more motivated than ever, ready to come back stronger. After a tough finals loss, the Nuggets considered trading Jamal Murray, but ultimately, they stayed the course, even as KCP left in free agency. They finished with 55 wins, and the 3rd seed, a solid regular season by any measure. Mitchell averaged 25 points per game, continuing his elite play, while Jokic remained the engine of it all. In the first round, they swept the struggling Grizzlies squad. Round 2 brought a tougher test, the Rockets, who had lucked into Cade Cunningham instead of Jalen Green in 2021. Despite Cade's breakout, Denver pulled out the series in 6 games. In the Western Conference Finals, they faced the Thunder, the 1st seed even without Jalen Williams. It was a battle, but without J-Dub, the Thunder fell short. The Nuggets advanced in 6 hard-fought games, reaching their 3rd straight NBA Finals. Waiting for them were the Atlanta Hawks, beneficiaries of 2020 lottery luck, having drafted Anthony Edwards with the number 1 pick. Ant and Trae Young, surrounded by a gritty supporting cast, broke through a week in the East after injuries derailed the Celtics. Game 1 went to Atlanta, with Ant and Trae lighting it up and stealing early momentum. But Denver quickly regrouped. Their experience, chemistry, and championship poise proved too much for the young Hawks. The Nuggets locked in, made key adjustments, and won the next 4, reminding everyone why they were the NBA's reigning powerhouse. And with his 3rd Finals MVP, 3rd ring, and 4th regular season MVP, Nikola Jokic entered conversations people weren't ready to have. Top 10, top 8, top 6 all time, he had dominated this era. Then, he woke up, and remembered Denver traded Donovan Mitchell for Trey Lyles. If you liked the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And if you've got any what-if scenarios you want me to cover, drop them in the comments below. And if I think it's cool, I'll definitely make a video on it at some point. Thanks for watching.